Hello, everyone. Welcome into the channel. I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster, here with Weather Now, Kentucky. And yes, we have our first snowcast of the year here for you. If you somehow have not heard, there's snow on the way for Thursday and potentially Friday, and maybe even some more down the road, but we'll cover that at a different point. Just want to kind of wait a couple minutes. I know I said 7:30. We started a little bit early here. Want to let everyone get a moment to get in here and settled in. And make sure you're saying hello as you come in so I can greet you as you come into the broadcast here. Again, I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with Weather Now, Kentucky. And yes, it's our first snowcast video of the year. Ivy, hello, how are you doing? And of course, forgot to mention, because it's been a while, I'm out of rhythm here, please tap the share button if you're over there on Facebook. Put this video onto your news feed so that your friends and family can view it. Get up to date on what to expect. There are some changes. We did make a couple of changes to our forecast. So it's going to look a little bit different than what you saw us post earlier today if you're on our Twitter and our Facebook and Blue Sky. Yes, we are on there as well. Thank you for the shares on the broadcast there. We appreciate you. Eliza Braden, hello over there on Facebook, on YouTube. Vicky, hello, are you? Jose, Vicky, again, hello. It says not ready for snow just yet. You guys know me. You guys know me. I love snow. Sarah, hello, are you? My favorite time of year. Mine as well. Angela, hello. Cheryl, hello. By the way, before I forget, happy holidays to everyone. Happy Thanksgiving, of course, coming up here soon. Thanksgiving does look interesting, as a little teaser, I guess, if you will. I did see a few more shares on the broadcast. Thank you guys again for sharing the video. We appreciate your help with that. Shares are the biggest help. So thank you so much for your help with sharing the broadcast and all the posts and everything you all have been doing for the last couple months. I know it's been a long time since we've done a broadcast. So thank you again. But now we don't know exactly what's going to happen on Thanksgiving yet. Of course, we'll get into that probably next week. But the signal is there for something to occur either on Thanksgiving or a couple of days after Thanksgiving. What that signal is at this point, obviously it's a bit too early to decipher. But nonetheless, we're keeping an eye on the signal of activity. Thank you for all the likes and shares. We appreciate you guys. Again, going to give it about 60 more seconds. I know I started the broadcast a little bit early, so I want to let everyone that gets in here or that wants to get in here get a spot and up to date on what to expect. Trent says happy holidays. Happy holidays to you. Owensboro there. Thank you. Bridget, hello. Karen, hello. How are you all? Again, obviously, we are live on both Facebook and YouTube tonight. And by the way, we just launched on Blue Sky as well. I have no idea how that's going to go. I don't really know of that platform, to be honest with you. I just do know that it's growing. So we wanted to get on there. Bernie, hello. Laura, hello. Big shout out to our sponsors real quick while we're waiting for folks to get in here. FBI Buildings, Riot Implement, and WeatherWise. Thank you for our video sponsors there. We'll get them a couple messages throughout the broadcast. You guys know how it goes. You guys know how it goes. And before someone asks why we don't know about Thanksgiving is why we try to get into a 5-day window first before solidifying anything. Yeah, we really do. We try to get inside that 5-day window. That's why we waited a little bit longer on this one than a lot of other platforms did. Again, you don't want to talk about anything too far out because you guys know how this goes. You guys know how it goes. Sometimes models show things and then things change a lot, and then sometimes it ends up not being anything like the model showed. So it's a really good practice to get within 100 hours first before really talking about too many things. Debbie, hello, are you? Donna, hello. Ashley says she needs more than a dusting in Radcliffe. We'll talk about why that may be possible. Yeah. Let's go ahead and get started on things here. It's 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with WNK. We do have our first snow chance of the year, so this is our first snowcast of the year presented by FBI Buildings, Riot Implement, and WeatherWise. Let's go ahead and pull up our main screen here. I'm going to start with a few other things, and then, of course, we'll get into that changed snowfall forecast that we talked about with you. Let's talk about some other things, though, that are going on here. So this is our WeatherWise radar. By the way, if you haven't downloaded it already, make sure you search for it on your app store. This is a phenomenal radar. It's more than a radar. You can actually access outlooks like this here. Different satellites, obviously different radars as well, but a phenomenal free radar for you guys to use. But anyway, this is the CPC Outlook, the Climate Prediction Center. Basically what their job is to predict, on this map anyway, to predict whether a temperature is going to be below or above normal for that time of year. Currently we're on 8 to 14 days out, so this would be Thanksgiving week here. And I want you to just kind of look at how much cold air we're talking about. This is why we're talking about the potential for something to occur on Thanksgiving or just after, because there's so much cold air available. And I want to just pull out our drawing pin here from WeatherWise that they just added here. And I just want to kind of show you, let me refresh the website here, because I have been on this for a while, so there we go. I just want to show you just this little gap that we have right here. So let's pull this out. And here's your, much below, below, above. I do think, by the way, for those of you that may ask, I think this dark blue absolutely makes its way down to Kentucky. Just like a quick side note. So again, this is the week of Thanksgiving. And by the way, if you're just now hopping in here, we have not talked about the new Snowfall map for Thursday and Friday just yet. I have not showed that yet, so you have not missed a thing, really. I'm just kind of showing you the overall outlook of what we're looking at here. So by the way, for Thanksgiving, we do see a piece of energy. And it kind of just wants to make its dive down here. And we know that when this happens, if this were to happen, by the way, in January or February, this would be a no-doubter winter storm for the Thanksgiving timeframe. But since it's happening in November and or late November, early December, that's what we have a little bit of a pause to do. Now, we do know that there's going to be a piece of energy that develops, whether it goes there, or let's change our color here and go to red, or goes up here. Makes the biggest difference in the world. Your black line would offer a Thanksgiving snow, and not just a Thanksgiving snow, but a very heavy Thanksgiving snow. That red line would offer a very unfortunate cold rain for those of you snow lovers. And somewhere in the middle, let's go to let's change it to green. Okay, so somewhere in the middle, let's say if it goes right here, well, that would be a rain to snow. It will also probably be slower. So you're probably talking about a day or two after Thanksgiving. So we do see something happening around Thanksgiving. What that looks like, obviously way too early to know. But again, just know at this point that the signal is there for a Thanksgiving event or just shortly after Thanksgiving. By the way, again, even if nothing does happen on Thanksgiving, let's go and get the drawing off of the table here. Even if nothing happens on Thanksgiving, look at how much cold air we're talking about here. I'm talking about lows in the 20s for the end of November, early December. We're talking about highs in the low 40s. We're talking about unseasonably cold. Now, it doesn't sound like it's extremely cold, which it's not. But for late November and early December, that is abnormally cold. All right. Real quick, I want to point out to you before we get to the snowfall forecast and the timing on everything for you to expect on Thursday and Friday. Again, you have not missed a thing if you're just now tuning in here. I appreciate everyone sharing the broadcast, both on YouTube and Facebook. We thank you guys so much for that. I want to show you this real quickly. A lot of people are asking or have a misconception on when the first average date of snowfalls are. So your first trace or flakes of snow typically do occur by mid-November or late November for your big cities here. Now, obviously, there's more cities in Kentucky. These are just your big three, right? But again, usually your first flakes do occur around this time of year, so this is not abnormal. What is abnormal about this is that there are going to be places in eastern Kentucky that pick up 2 to 4 inches, if not more, of snowfall Thursday and Friday. That usually does not occur until at least late December or early January. So that part of this system is a bit abnormal. So a bit of context there for you on when things occur and when things are normal versus abnormal. So I want to show you some timing real quickly, and then again, we do have a new snowfall map for you. It's right there. I won't show you it all the way just yet. I'm getting better at this whole teasing thing. But real quickly, obviously, got a few messages to give you from our sponsors. None of this is possible without our sponsors. So I'm going to give you a quick message from FBI Buildings, who just now joined us, by the way. FBI Buildings is a Midwest post-frame construction company servicing Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kentucky, Michigan, Missouri, Ohio, and Wisconsin. Founded in 1958, FBI Buildings has constructed 20,000 plus farm shops, commercial businesses, residential buildings, and horse barns. Whether you want to repair or renovate your existing pole barn, choosing FBI Buildings ensures the same quality building material and extensive warranty coverage as our new post-frame construction projects. Our dedicated repair and renovation experts have the knowledge, resources, and manpower to extend any pole barn's useful life or reconfigure it for a new purpose. Regardless of the original builder, we're committed to enhancing the durability and functionality of your structure. Call 800-552-2981 or visit fbibuildings.com to request a free quote. Again, by the way, I forgot to mention, they're offering a 20% discount on any pole barn repair or renovation project through December 13th. It's really cool stuff by them there. Again, and you have not missed a thing here. We have not gone over the new snowfall map or timings or anything just yet. You have not missed a thing. One more message from one of our sponsors, Right Implement. Pretty cool stuff here. I'm absolutely obsessed with this ad.
I enjoy seeing things grow. It's a fun process to be able to put a seed in the ground and seeing what comes from it. We always enjoy going to Wrights because they're always very helpful, and when we're in a need, they always get it done for us.
You know, if we break down the field, I make a call to Wright Implement, and they always have someone out within a reasonable amount of time. I've been working with Wright Implement for several years and wouldn't recommend any other dealership.
I can't say how much I love that ad there. That commercial is so real, so real. So again, if you want to support a great company there with Wright Implement, they have so many new winter products on stock as well. I heard phenomenal company. Go to Wright Implement. 15 locations across Kentucky and for you to choose from. Thank you so much to them. Thank you so much to weatherwise.app as well. Download your radar there. That's, again, what we've been using, what we'll continue to use here. So back over to the actual weather business here. I kind of want to show you just the timing first, and then we'll talk about the potential snowfall accumulations. So models have been going back and forth a little bit, but overall really consistent on timing. So there'll probably be 2, maybe 3 different waves to talk about here with you. So coming up first here, going to kind of fast forward this to about 6 to 7 a.m. Eastern time. You can see a band of snowfall approaches that southern Ohio, northern Kentucky area. Pushing us on forward. Those bands of snowfall try to start reaching back out toward about the I-65 line. I don't know how far west this first little wave comes. For some of you, this is going to be all that you see. For some of you, this is just round 1. So this is, again, is valid for 10 a.m. tomorrow morning Eastern time. Some spotty showers. However, there are some heavier, these darker blues that you're seeing. These are some heavier, more moderate snowfall showers. So pretty good snowfall showers there. And I want to make a real quick note. We've had a lot of people talking about how in the world are we going to see accumulation when it was just 70 degrees yesterday. There's no way the ground temps are cold enough to support snow. And you're absolutely right. The ground temps are not cold enough to support snow. However, you have to keep in mind, I always point it out like this. So if I have this bottle of water here, right? Let's imagine that this is in a cup, right? This is not an ad, by the way, for Walmart. But let's say I put this in a cup, and I go to put 1 or 2 ice cubes in it, and it's a room temperature water. Those 1 or 2 ice cubes are going to melt pretty fast. But if I'm putting more ice cubes in that, let's say 10 to 12 ice cubes in that room temperature water, those ice cubes are going to take longer to melt because you're overwhelming the amount of room temperature water with frozen ice cubes, right? It's the same exact thing we're talking about outside. If the snowfall's coming down heavy enough, it's going to overcome those warm ground temps. So you will see brief accumulations, especially in grassy areas, and even brief accumulations, especially out toward, let's say, Lexington, Somerset, Pikeville, going up to eastern Kentucky there. You might even see some road accumulations, especially down towards southeastern Kentucky, where they're going to see almost 5 inches of snow, perhaps, in some places. So push this on forward here. Hopefully that metaphor made sense to a lot of folks, because that's such a misconception that we have, that even if it's warm outside, we can't accumulate snowfall. That's just not true. You can. So push this forward to noon here, Central, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Some more, again, heavier snowfall showers out in eastern Kentucky. You're starting to see the theme. Push this on forward at 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern time. A big band of some lighter snowfall. Where you're close, whoever gets close to this rain and snow line, let's push it forward for a second, okay? I want to show you this rain to snow line. There will be some rain out to the west, okay? You don't have a rain to snow line. Whoever gets real close, like right there in the middle, let's say, just for example, this is not 100% accurate, okay? This will be different by tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. Let's say whoever gets really close to this, let's say it's Radcliffe, because Radcliffe does look very close. As of now, again, this can change. Let's say it's Louisville, let's say it's whoever, E-Town, whatever. Whoever gets really close to that, you're going to see some absolutely massive snowfall flakes, 1. And 2, you're going to see some quick accumulation because those flakes are so big. So we'll have to keep an eye on some spotty travel conditions that are going to be interrupted. Whoever gets real close to this rain-snow line here, again, this is actually valid for 6 p.m. Eastern time. You can see it up there in the top left corner of your screen, where my cursor is. Whoever gets real close to that, it's going to be some really cool-looking snow globe. Now, it's not going to accumulate a whole lot, right? But it'd be a really cool looking snow globe type of effect outside. But you can see as of about 5 to 6 p.m. tomorrow, you see the problem. That's 1, that's rush hour. 2, very moderate snowfalls going on from Lexington to Louisville. So I-70, northern I-65, I-71, I-64, right? There might be some travel issues tomorrow. Again, if this snow is coming down heavy enough, 1, you're talking about reduced visibilities. Number 2, if it's coming down heavy enough, it can stick to the road briefly. It won't stick to it long, but briefly, and maybe even just enough to cause a few headaches, right? And you're talking about the potential for traffic impedance. So that's why we've kind of been talking about this a little bit more as well. You're talking about the potential for travel to be impacted because snowfall may be just heavy enough to cause some issues. By about 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, the northern edge is now starting to push out of the river area. It's a full-on snow globe for I-65 and points east. For my friends in Paducah, Evansville, Bowling Green, anyone west of I-65 really that have been wanting snowfall, you will not see it from this event. All right. I know we've seen some snowfall maps of some people drawing lines all the way over here. I'm not sure what they're drinking. I'd like to have some of that, but I'm just not seeing that effect occurring. There is one model showing that, and I'll show you real quickly just to give you all the transparency here. There is one model showing the potential for that to occur. Here's that first wave. This is an M3K model, by the way. But the odds of this stretching all the way that far west are incredibly low because the upper low pressure is going to be transferring its energy to the actual surface low pressure, which is going to be on the Atlantic coast. So in theory, the precipitation is going to be moving from west to east. I don't think it stretches that far down to the southwest. I just don't see a scenario where that actually occurs. But I will say there is one model that shows that. It's this model. It's also the least accurate model when it comes to wintertime. So all in all, I'm not putting a very big grain of salt in that or a very high level of confidence in it. But I just wanted to show you that there is a chance it could occur out that far west, but it's just not that likely. If I were to show you other models, every other model agrees with this look right here. So just to give you some context on that. So again, fast forwarding this to about 9 p.m. Eastern Time, some snow ongoing from Lexington down to Somerset, Pikeville still going on there. 11 p.m. still going on, and then kind of just tapering off by about the midnight hour or so out of eastern Kentucky. There is the potential for a third wave, as you can see right here, that may slightly enhance some snowfall totals for far eastern Kentucky Friday evening. But the confidence in that right now is pretty low, so we're going to not really talk about that too much. Overall, here is your total snowfall ratio from this, or 10-to-1 ratio from this model. This is not going to be accurate, by the way. So you see all these numbers here? You got to think about 70% of this at least is going to melt. So if you're talking about Louisville, 1.5 inches, take about 70% of that off. You're probably talking about a half inch or so of snowfall that may stick to grassy areas, maybe some sidewalks. Lexington, for example, would be right around an inch to a little bit less than an inch. Pikeville, you can see down here in Harlan, Kentucky, and down here in southeastern Kentucky, where we put those higher snowfall totals on our map. You can see why they get more snowfall out there, obviously because they're higher up. Here's your snowfall depth, which, by the way, if you do look at models, this is what you want to look at. Now, this does show a pretty accurate representation of what to expect here. So here's your snowfall depth from when the system starts. You can see about Lexington, Louisville, about a quarter inch to a half inch, about an inch or so around northern Somerset, and then about an inch or so out towards southeast Kentucky. So that's your snowfall depth. And look how quickly, by the way, it melts. So we're not talking about a lingering snowfall by any means, but it will be really cool to look at. You're talking about some big snowflakes involved with this. It's going to look like a snow globe at times. Some winds, by the way, I actually almost forgot to mention, wind gusts will be there. We did say, hey, wind gusts are going to last with us until Friday morning. That's going to be the case here. Your wind gust for when the snowfall starts around 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time. You're talking about 30 to 35 mile per hour winds spread throughout all of Kentucky. You're talking about snow coming down in those winds. It's going to look like a mini blizzard outside. It will. You're going to think, oh my goodness, we're about to wake up or go to bed with like 3 feet of snow on the ground. Of course, that's not going to happen, but it's going to look really cool outside. By the afternoon, when the actual big wave of snow comes in, you're talking about 35 to even 45 mile per hour winds going into your nighttime tomorrow. Talking about 45 to 50 mile per hour winds on the table. So some nice wind gusts with this. Unfortunately, it does mean you do not want to be outside tomorrow night. You're talking about a cold front coming out of Canada and winds coming in at about 35 to 40 mile per hour. It's going to feel very, very, very bitterly cold tomorrow. So if I were you guys by tomorrow, about 7, 8 p.m. Eastern time, I would definitely be inside my house, even if I don't see snowfall, because you're talking about really, really cold temperatures that we're just not going to be ready for just yet. By the way, here is our snowfall forecast that we did change a little bit. Snowfall accumulation map from Thursday 9 a.m. to Thursday at about 9 p.m. Another round on Friday is possible. Here's your snowfall forecast as currently presented. That white area is a flurry or two possible, mainly rain if you see anything. Dusting is possible from Louisville to E-Town, Campbellsville, down towards southern Somerset and going down toward Monticello. About 1 inch or so is possible from Lexington, Danville to Somerset, down toward southern Harlan. western Harlan up toward Florence as well. And then a stripe of 1 to 2 inches from Moorhead, Mount Olivet possible in that as well, going down toward Pikeville. And then another 1-inch band just outside of that, because I think we're talking about lighter snow on that. You will have a strip in the middle of these types of systems all the time. It's heavier. Then on the left side is lighter, right side is lighter. So that's what we're going with here as well. A 2 to 4 inch zone, maybe even up to 5 inches possible. Down there in the very, very high elevations of the mountains down there in southeastern Kentucky. So overall, not a crazy snowfall here that we're talking about, folks, but it will be really cool to look at. It is a little bit more than we average get here in the late November time frame or early December time frame. Overall, just a really cool snow globe type of snow for some. It won't stick around for too long. There is the potential, I should say, for some brief impact to travel. We'll kind of keep you guys updated on that, so make sure you're following our Twitter, Facebook, and Blue Sky, and of course YouTube. Turn on notifications as well. But yeah, not a whole lot has changed, but we did up the snowfall totals just a smidge. I think, again, earlier I think we had like E-Town, Louisville, Kansasville at just a trace, or just snowflakes. Now we have the potential for up to a dusting, up to about 1 to 2 inches, or 1.5 inches or so for that central eastern Kentucky portion of the area. 1 to 2 inches for far east, 2 to 4 inches for far southeastern Kentucky. But overall, just a really cool snow if you're a snow lover. If you're not a snow lover, by the way, this is also going to be cool for you, because your family that does love snow is going to have a lot of fun looking at it, and that's going to be out of your way. So it's not a big headache for you. Days to Confused Blonde on YouTube says, "Oh, Hopkins County won't be seeing any snow, and I know it." Oh yeah, you're way too far east or west. Will there be a chance that schools in the dusting part of Kentucky gets canceled? I doubt it. Because most of your kids will already be in school by the time this really gets going. So buses shouldn't have a problem in the morning. By the time the afternoon comes, you might see a few people dismiss early. But again, I doubt it. We're not talking about serious impacts here, but visibility could be quite the issue. So allowing more time for travel, especially in the evening rush home, that 4 to 6 p.m. time frame, I would definitely allow for a little bit more time to travel if you're in that snow zone, which is basically east of I-65. Brittany says, but maybe even some more snow for next week. That is a potential. I wouldn't go with any type of forecast for now, but there is the potential there for snowfall for next week. All right. I think we're good. Yeah, like Michael Greenwood just said, we are analyzing it. There's nothing finalized on that at all. In fact, we're probably just now starting to actually tear that thing apart for next week. But yeah, again, real quick shout out to Creature Comfort Inn. Thank you for sponsoring our snowfall map there, right? Implement FBI buildings and weatherwise for the live broadcast sponsorship. We appreciate your guys' help a lot. That helps us to get these messages out to you. So thank you to our sponsors. Consider shopping or downloading or whatever they're sponsoring there. Still makes the outside look so pretty. I agree. That's it from us here at WNK. I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with Weather Now Kentucky. Our first snowcast of the season is done. We'll likely do another broadcast tomorrow just to catch you up on any changes that may be needed, or just kind of talk about how things are evolving. Anyway, until next time, stay safe, Kentucky.